Hello YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Culinary Brute. After the huge response to my previous video where I fried chicken, I've decided to postpone my YouTube channel deletion, and today we're making chicken and rice bowls. We're going to be cooking chicken thighs just like the last video. Now these chicken and rice bowls are one of my favorite meals to make ever. I actually do like them better than the fried chicken. I have a rice cooker. You can make rice using the instructions on the bag, and a pot on your stove if you don't have a rice cooker. Long grain, short grain, brown, white, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what rice you use. Now to help enhance the flavor of the rice a little bit, what I'm going to be doing is taking some bouillon cubes, these guys right here. Wop beef bouillon cubes, instant bouillon cubes. They're available at your local wherever. I think that really enhances the meal. To make the chicken, you can thaw out the chicken and then chop it up for little bite-sized pieces in your rice. Personally, I like to cook the frozen chicken and thaw it out that way, and then chop it up with scissors right into the pan and continue cooking it. To help the defrosting process, I add a little bit of water to the pan and cover it with a lid so the steam collects in there and helps get the chicken all defrosted quicker. You don't have to do that. You can thaw it out some other way. Then you add seasonings: paprika, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, salt. You can use garlic salt instead of salt and garlic powder. I'll probably do that today. I've done some chili flakes in the past before. That's good. Red chili flakes. Is that what they're called? Red pepper flakes? Something like that. If you want a little spicier, you can throw some spicy stuff in there. This recipe uses a little bit of butter, just enough to fry all of the chicken in the pan a little bit. I like to crisp up every piece of chicken and get the highest amount of crispy surface area. It's a simple recipe, pretty easy, very delicious, better than most recipes I've made in my life. I really love these rice bowls, man. If you're a meat eater, you should give these a try. I think they're good. You could add a vegetable in there if you wanted. I'm not super big on vegetables right now. I haven't grown up enough to really enjoy vegetables on that level. So I'll leave that in your hands to decide. Enough about all the steps. I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna get started. Thanks for watching. I don't need to thank you yet. The video's not over. It's me cleaning instead of actually cooking. This is a cooking video, not a cleaning video. I already made a cleaning video on my second channel if you want to check it out. It's Jake War Tooth. This current channel you're watching is Jake War Tooth. My second channel is Jake War Tooth. The difference there being, instead of a TO, there's the number 2. Go subscribe to Jake War Tooth. If you haven't already subscribed to Jake War Tooth, then you could subscribe to Jake War Tooth. But after doing so, go subscribe to Jake War Tooth. And at that point, you'll be subscribed to Jake War Tooth and Jake War Tooth. Sound good? Great. Thank you. Here we have a pan with a lid, and that will help the chicken cook. Look at that. Chicken. Plenty of it. We're gonna put a little bit of water in this from the sink, just a splash. And we'll put that on medium heat. That should be fine. And then as that's cooking, I'm going to prepare the rice. For this rice cooker, I like to rinse the rice pretty thoroughly, get all the extra starches and whatnot off of it. So we're gonna take this and rinse it in the sink. Now, as far as the bouillon cubes go, what I typically do is I take the cubes and a little bit of water and put it in the microwave to dissolve the cubes, and then add that mixture to the rice cooker. If you just throw the cubes into the rice cooker without trying to break them up at all, the seasoning has, in my experience, just stayed cubified and not dispersed into the rice the way I want it to. So it helps to do this extra little step. Takes a couple seconds, but very much worth it in my opinion. 1 cube, 2 cube, and just a little bit of water. Not even fully submerging the cubes. That's just a couple seconds in the microwave, and we can take a spoon and break up these cubes, give it a little mix. Once all the biggest parts are broken up, go ahead and add that to your rice cooker. I probably should have set a timer for this chicken, but I forgot to add the timer this time because I'm also juggling around a camera, but that's okay. We'll just eyeball it. If I cut into it and it's still pink inside, probably just pop it back in the pan and let it cook up a little more. The last thing I want is uncooked chicken dripping all sorts of pathogens into my kitchen. I'd rather the chicken be mostly cooked all the way through before I start cutting into it, at which point I will pan fry them in the thigh fat as well as a little bit of butter. We're gonna give a shot chopping this chicken up. Yeah, this chicken's still pretty undercooked. I don't want undercooked chicken dripping all over my kitchen, so I'm gonna let it cook a little longer. Put the lid back on and back to medium. And we'll give that 4 minutes. Okay, a lot of that water has evaporated now, so it's starting to cook on the bottom. That's not what I want. So I'm gonna add just a tiny little splash of water and start cutting this thing. I like the pieces to be pretty small, much smaller than the nuggets we used for the fried chicken. Don't worry too much about technique here, just get everything chopped up. Find any big chunks in there that you can and chop them up pretty small. The rice is over boiling. I'd say these pieces are all chopped up pretty well. Everything's around like 1/2 inch length, width, and height. And I'm gonna add maybe 2 tablespoons of butter and see if we need more from there. Back up to medium. We don't need the lid on anymore. We can let that water I added evaporate. At this point, you can also add your seasonings, which I almost forgot to do. So I'm gonna do that. First, garlic salt, onion powder. I bought new onion powder since the last video. Paprika, pepper. Just get that seasoning dispersed into the oil and the butter. You know, I'm gonna add some red pepper flakes this time. At this point, the rice has just finished cooking. It went from cook to warm. We're gonna leave it on warm while we finish up this chicken. Right now, the chicken looks kind of brown. We want it to be more golden brown. We want all these little pieces to be nice and crispy. I think I'm gonna add maybe 1.5 tablespoons more of butter because it does not seem to be enough fat content in there to get this all frying the way I like. I'm also gonna add a little bit of butter to the rice. Give this rice a little taste test. That's fantastic rice. Basically, we cook this chicken a little bit, give it a while to sit in the oil, give it a stir, then let it cook some more. Repeat that back and forth until it's the amount of doneness you like. I have it set to medium heat. You can turn it down a little bit. It doesn't need to be that high. I think I'm gonna turn it down myself, just so that things can cook a little more evenly. Now that's looking to be about how cooked I want it. Get a little zoom. And with that, I'd say we're done. This is probably, if I had to guess the amount of calories, 400 or 500 probably in this bowl right here between the chicken, the rice, and the butter. Okay, I believe my head should be cut off this time. This is still very hot. Literally just took it off the pan. But I'm gonna dig in and eat this whole bowl on camera. Clean Plate Club, baby. So yeah, that's my chicken and rice bowl recipe. Man, the red pepper flakes were really, really good. I'm glad I did that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try this recipe out at home. It's so delicious. I ate one bowl. After I stop recording, I'm gonna go and eat another bowl, and then I'm gonna try for the rest of the day not to eat the third bowl. So yeah, there will be more of these in the future unless I decide to delete my YouTube channel. So look forward to either one of those things happening. This has been Culinary Brute. I've been Jake Wartooth, and you have been watching me. You have a good day, or else I'll find you. I'll track you down, and I will kill you. Peace out, y'all.